What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, this is surfacing, it's going viral, and many people are asking me about it, so I'm going to explain it. People are criticizing and critiquing five-time world champion, three-division world champion, undefeated superstar boxer, who is the WBA lightweight world champion, and one of the cash cows and one of the face of the sport of boxing in Gervonta Tank Davis, who is 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 28 wins by way of knockout, 30 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. Gervonta Tank Davis is going to face off against a fighter that people are not calling for, right? People are not calling to see this fight. They didn't want to see this fight. And that's WBA super featherweight world champion, star boxer Lamont Roach Jr., who has 25 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. He is 29 years of age, 5'7" with a 68-inch arm reach. Lamont Roach Jr. came out of nowhere. They fought twice in the amateurs. He's from DC, so you can understand the correlation, right? But it's a fight that people have not called for, and Lamont fights at 130. Tank fights at 135, so he's bringing up another 130-pounder like he did Hector Luis Garcia, who Lamont Roach beat for the title after Tank Davis knocked him out and broke his eye socket, right? So this is a fight that fans are not happy about. They're just simply not happy about this fight, right? And then there's a lot of controversy surrounding this fight. So people are sending me this information that, first and foremost, Tank Davis has a stigma around him that he's not fighting the best fighters, the best opposition there is to offer. And the reason this stigma is around Tank Davis, right, is because Tank Davis is in a position of power where he can pick and choose who he wants to fight, when he wants to fight them, right? And he could put them in a position where he can call everybody's bluff because he's the money man. He's the guy that everybody's chasing. So if he wanted to fight the Devin Haney's, the Shakors, the Teofimos, so on and so forth, etc., right? He can call their bluff, and then people will put the onus on them if the fight doesn't be made, right? Like, excuse me, like he did with Vasyl Lomachenko. Where he started to negotiate, he called out Lomachenko, he wanted to make the fight. So Tank Davis fighting the Lamont Roaches and the Hector Garcias of the world is not going over well because he's in a position of power, unlike they are. Like Leonard Ellerbe, former Mayweather Promotions CEO, always says, you don't make Tank Davis an offer, he makes you an offer, right? Okay, so the onus is on him to make these fights, right? Okay. Now, it has been noted that Tank Davis is going to fight Lamont Roach Jr. March 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And because of his superstardom, because of his status, right, a lot of things get revealed behind the scenes that are normal behind the scenes that more normally the average boxing fan, they simply don't know about these things that take place behind the scenes because they're not dealing with fighters at the highest level all the time. So when you're dealing with somebody who's in the limelight and is popular and superstar like Tank or Canelo, Terrence Crawford, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, so on and so forth, Errol Spence, right? You tend to find out information that happens behind the scenes that are normal actions that take place behind the scenes. You find out things because of people are always prowling, right? They're always picking, they're always searching, right? So in this case, former world champion, former WBC featherweight world champion, Mark Magsayo, okay, out of the Philippines. Mark Magsayo is 27 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 18 wins by way of knockout. He's 5'7" with a 67-inch arm reach. And Mark Magsayo is 29 years of age. He's known for the biggest victory of his career was beating superstar boxer and the longest reigning champion at the time in Gary Russell Jr. right? And I thought he lost that fight to Gary Russell. Nonetheless, he got the victory. Mark Magsayo is the replacement opponent for Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Now, obviously, it's getting noted that Mark Magsayo is Gervonta Tank Davis' replacement for Lamont Roach. What people are not understanding, he's also the replacement for Lamont Roach, right? So people don't understand if Tank gets injured, right? They can use Mark Magsayo to fill in for Tank Davis and vice versa. But obviously, Tank being the superstar, Tank being the headliner, Tank being the focal point, it's noted that Mark Magsayo, according to ES News, Ellie Setback, that Mark Magsayo is the replacement opponent for Tank Davis. Now, I don't know if this to be true or not, but I'm going to break down how this works for you guys so you guys can understand, because a lot of people are critiquing and criticizing Tank Davis and saying, why you fight Mark Magsayo? Why is he a replacement? They don't understand. So let me break it down. Mark Magsayo is the replacement for short notice replacement should something happen to Lamont Roach. Typically, he'll fly in Monday, the week of the fight. He's already in shape. He's working out. He's already on notice. Meaning that, so he'll fight the fight week, right? If Lamont Roach get injured that Monday, Mark Magsayo will fill in because it's already fight week and a lot of money has been spent, promotions, everything is secured. They can't scrap the card the week of. People bought their tickets. So Mark Magsayo will fill in for Lamont Roach that week, or let's say the weigh-in or the day before or something like that, the day of. He'll fill in for Lamont Roach Jr. Now, if let's say Lamont Roach Jr. got injured today. Today is January 8th, okay? The fight is not till March 1st. Mark Magsayo will not be the fill-in for Lamont Roach Jr. Do you understand? So he's not a replacement. He's not the chosen opponent to replace Lamont Roach Jr. if Lamont Roach Jr. can't fight, other than being very, very extremely short notice. The week of the fight, okay? So if it's the week of the fight, or, you know, that Monday, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so on and so forth, that's when Mark Magsayo will come into play and fill in for Lamont Roach. He's not a fill-in. Let's say the fight is 2 months away and Mark Magsayo is filling in. That's not how it works. No, Tank Davis can then find an opponent to replace Lamont Roach. They still got at least a 6-week training camp. He could find still a higher profile fighter to replace him. And Mark Magsayo still, at that point in time, can still be the emergency replacement for whoever, let's say he decides to choose Teofimo Lopez, right? Mark Magsayo still can be the emergency replacement for Teofimo Lopez. Do you understand? So Mark Magsayo is not the replacement for Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. He's just an emergency replacement, fight week, day of, something of that magnitude, maybe even a week and a half before, right? That's what it is, to keep the event going. He's not the replacement for Lamont Roach if the fight was to be canceled today, right? So I know people are saying, you getting ready to choose another guy? No, he's just an emergency replacement on standby. That not a lot of fighters are willing to do unless they're going to get paid a lot of money. So that's how that works. So just so people know, so don't put that onus on Tank Davis to be like, oh, you're choosing Mark Magsayo as another opponent. That's not what that is. So there you have it. That's the breakdown for it. And that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. On one word, I'm gone. Peace.